Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another day of some NGS action. Today we're going to have the game of Easy Blues and the Swarm versus Rolling Thunder. And I'm really looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be... Rolling Thunder versus Sexy Mofos. I just was reading my title and I realized I had that wrong. So starting off strong already. Give me 1 second. Let me just update the title. Make sure that's right. The best. What? Okay, interesting. So apparently, Mofos is banned for Twitch titles, so that's why the title never updated. It's not entirely my fault. Anyway, we are back into this. Gonna start focusing on the draft, and very interesting draft to begin with. We see the Cho'Gall ban coming out for the side of Sexy Mofos, which I genuinely gotta say is a very interesting ban. I don't know if it's something that the side of Rolling Thunder plays a lot, but either way, really interesting ban. I'm a little bit behind, so I'm just going to kind of rip through these. We do have the Kel'Thuzad ban. We have the Joanna ban. Really nothing really super out of the way there. Like, pretty standard bans. Kel'Thuzad, very strong mage. And then for picks, Rhaegar Muradin, standard tank healer combo. And then Blaze, Vala, Junkrat. And especially for Battlefields of Eternity, being able to get the Vala is a very big deal. Vala is one of the fastest when it comes to trying to kill down the Immortals, being able to race. And it makes it very difficult for the side of Rolling Thunder to really be able to get any kind of pressure on them. Just by the nature of the Vala pick, they are forced to fight it. And with the Diablo ban coming out for the side of Rolling Thunder, that's going to get rid of a very high HP tank for them. And we also see the Sylvanas ban coming out from Sexy Mofos. And the Sylvanas ban is also really good because Sylvanas is also able to race pretty quickly. Kind of does limit what they can pick on Rolling Thunder. Greymane is a good option. Out of mages, if they want to, they could also still pick Li Ming. And with the Greymane Li Ming combo, they should be able to win the race against Vala and Junkrat. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they go with that. We do see Lucio coming out as the healer for Sexy Mofos. A very good healer. It's going to have a lot of cleanses, so it could make Thrall and Muradin a little bit harder to play. Because other than the Earth Shatter that comes out from Thrall, all the other stuns are they're not AoE, they're single target. They are very easy to cleanse as long as Throbbing is not the one to get hit by the Storm Hammer or the Root from Thrall. So I think Lucio's a very good pick, and I do expect High Five to be coming out as the ultimate. However, if they are doing some kind, if they are forcing more on the teamfight end, both the ultimates on Lucio are very strong. And we see Sonya picked as well, so that is a Blaze main tank, not a Blaze offlaner. And Sonya will be going offlane against Thrall, with Medivh being the final pick for Grizzly. Now, I gotta say, I think Medivh is a little bit of an interesting choice here. Just because, well, Medivh isn't able to really deal as much damage early, and this map can snowball very quickly. But anyway, let us get into game number 1. So as we do continue loading in, I do want to talk a little bit more about the Medivh. I think late game Medivh is going to be able to deal a lot of damage. And being able to deal a ton of damage on Medivh is very important on a map like this. Medivh does bring out a lot of control, a lot of protection for his team. And just overall is a very strong character, but I do feel that specifically on this map against this team comp, it may not be as good a pick as perhaps something like I mentioned, the Lee main could have been good. It could even consider something like Mephisto, just some damage dealing mage that can really swing right as soon as the game begins. But if the Medivh is able to get 40 stacks very quickly, it won't matter. And maybe they are looking more towards the later game. So now anyway, we do have a little bit of engage starting to come out from both sides. Ñofi trying to get as much DPS onto this wave, trying to get first push here. They do have the root going over onto B-Man, but B-Man's not going to care too much. Throwing in, Stormhammer does that, and Grizzly gets pushed into the back of the enemy team, tries to use the protection, will not be able to reach the portal fast enough, and Rogue is just dealing a ton of damage, able to get 2 kills for himself that fast. 2-0 going over for the side of the Sexy Mofas. And Jet Propulsion lands onto B-Man as well. Rogue still able to deal a ton of damage. A very strong start from the Sexy Mofos. That's definitely how you want to start this game whenever possible. And that's kind of exactly what I was talking about when it came to the Medivh. Medivh is a little bit weak early on. Was a little bit unfortunate. The concussion mine was able to throw the Medivh all the way to the backline. As we do see a little bit of trading back and forth. I don't expect too much to come out from this, just poke. The siege camp does go towards Sexy Mofos, as they do have almost a half-level lead. As Vom gets knocked back, has to be cleansed, gets protected also by Grizzly. Will be okay. They do have a lot of defensive options on the side of Rolling Thunder to be able to peel away from any of these engagements as they come out. Johnny B tries to go with another Jet Propulsion, will not land. As I'm actually noticing, the Arcane Rift is already at 13 seconds. Johnny B is actually starting to get low. They do throw the totem down to slow, but the Jet Propulsion will be able to get Johnny B away safely. And the pushing continues. The fighting back and forth continues. The concussive mine not able to land onto anyone. Not able to get another kill for the team now. We do see a little bit of trading back and forth top. Shogun Misa just came off of the reset. I noticed that in the minimap, as both sides are starting up onto their bruiser camps. Now, I do think it is a little bit early to start taking these bruiser camps, as both sides should be able to clear them away before the Immortals do spawn, and both sides do end up channeling and completing this. Now, the Immortals are spawning right now in 30 seconds, so it'll be interesting to see how both sides decide to play this. Overall, the advantage is strong, as the Jet Propulsion does land onto Vom. Vom able to walk away. Johnny B actually ends up taking more damage than Vom does during that trade, but it should be okay. I believe Johnny may still have the tap, but also a lot of healing coming out from Throbbing Hood, so they should be okay. As Rogue was going to channel the reset, but it won't be able to. We see a Stormhammer landing on a Johnny B, and Johnny B starting to get low. Vom gets the top. Thrown into the middle of the enemy team, and they're both just dealing as much damage as possible. Throbbing Hood will be able to keep Johnny B alive. They do see B-Man taking a lot of damage. Lots of DPS going back and forth. The race so far well in favor of Sexy Mofos, about a 3k lead, as they are deciding to fight instead. Stormhammer just barely misses. Vom still going back and forth, trying to get some poke, but we do see that during this time, Shogun Misa able to get a huge push going on that top side. So overall, Sexy Mofos are winning really on all sides of this trade. Quest was completed by Lucio just now, so we'll be able to permanently increase the range by 20%, and that's a very big talent to have. Just makes piloting the Lucio a lot easier. Already, Lucio is a character that is able to, well, that is very difficult to kind of catch. Repositioning and moving around on that character is very easy. Lots of move speed just kind of built into that kit. And adding that extra range just makes the mobility go that much further. As the Immortals do get traded down, Sexy Mofos will get the first one. Only 4,000 health shield, so not too much. And it will be going towards the bot side. We do see that the wall is pretty healthy, so I wouldn't expect this Immortal to really get much more value other than taking down the wall. But one issue I am seeing, B-Man is out of mana, so the main tank isn't really able to do too much here. If Sexy Mofos is able to recognize that, they could see that they can play more aggressively, though B-Man does tap and has the mana back. Rooted a little bit, and we do see Grizzly gets knocked down, gets pushed back by Throbbing Hood, but we'll be able to get out in time. And not going to get killed the exact same way as they were killed in the first blood of the game. Now the wall does go down, and still a lot of health on the Immortal. They are getting a lot of value out of this. And B-Man gets knocked back into the team and just gets blown up. Sexy Mofos with a third kill for themselves, and they were in fact able to get the fort. Tried knocking Grizzly back away from the portals, but were not able to, and they're even going to get a decent amount of poke over onto this wall. This Junkrat with a concussive mines is doing so much work. Rolling Thunder is not able to get organized to be able to deal with all of that. The reward for that play is going to be the fort, and they're also going to back up to take this siege camp. They were considering fighting back, but doesn't seem like it's happening, as we do see a pretty big trade going on the top side. Shogun Misa versus J-Mac. Shogun Misa will be able to heal up. J-Mac has some natural healing as well, but Shogun Misa will not push forward, as we do see all 5 members starting to group up, and it seems like they are going to try and swap the lanes over. Throw Shogun Misa over to the bot side and throw their 4-core up into the top side. They will be able to collect that siege camp and most likely will start trying to pressure the fort afterwards, while Shogun Misa is just overall trying to wave clear. Definitely not a place where they can fight, as level 10s are going to be coming through any moment now for the side of Sexy Mofos, and they do get their heroic talents right now. And we do get a kill on the bot side, actually, as the Sonya does go down. Trash Mouse trying to trade back on a J-Mac, but does seem like it's going to happen. But the ultimate does come out and protected, so unfortunately no damage will be done there, but that did zone them away from the fort, so they're able to get a lot of damage onto that. Doesn't seem like they will be able to finish it off on the side of Sexy Mofos, but the fort did take a lot of punish, but so did theirs over on the bot side, as both sides once again move to take their bruiser camps. But one thing I do kind of want to mention is that Creed of the Hunter was the first talent picked up by the Vala, by Rogue. And typically for the Immortals, you do see the Hungering Arrow build coming out. And we do have that as the level 7 talent coming out from the Vala. It should still be able to deal a decent amount of damage, as the Leyline Seal does come out, only goes on to Johnny B. They do root, and there's a high 5 going to be used. And then Leave going onto the backline, and Bomb tries to jump onto Trash Mouse, but not enough damage to be able to do anything. Just garbage, taking a lot of damage for Shogun Misa. Shogun Misa still trying to chase, but now J-Mac is kind of stuck in the middle of the team, and J-Mac is not going anywhere. 2-for-0 trade once again to the Sexy Mofos. They are going to try pushing in, but nothing's going to end up happening. They're going to take this trade of kills, and they're also going to take the halfway point, as Shogun Misa also finishes off the fort with the help of that bruiser camp. But now Shogun Misa, a little bit overextended, is going to try to fight it out. The spin does get cancelled, and the second kill now going over to the side of the Rolling Thunder. However, they do manage to trade that kill, but the Immortal will still go down. A little bit of a 4v5, so the pressure will be alleviated a little bit. It's a lot harder when your offlaner is dead. They're not able to pressure both lanes at the same time. However, Trash Mouse is still walking down, trying to get as much DPS, but will mount up and join the rest of the squad over in the top side. And this is a very healthy Immortal, almost full shield. They weren't able to get a lot of damage onto the Immortal from the side of Rolling Thunder. Medivh, however, did finish the stack, so the Arcane Rift is fully stacked up. The DPS will be coming out now, and no longer as big a worry of losing the stacks upon death. Jet Propulsion does go in, but Johnny B kind of goes a little bit too far, forced to use the bunker, and Shogun Misa gets a 2-man leap. Rogue trying to hit as much damage as possible. Leyline Seal lands onto 2, will cancel the fight, but now B-Man pops to the Avatar, and they both go in on Johnny B, and they do kill both. Shogun Misa trying to fight off in the top side, high 5, trying to be used by Throbbing, but still not enough, as Vaughn is fighting in the backline, and 2 are now going down from the side of Rolling Thunder. So still a 2-for-1 for Sexy Mofos. They did have the talent advantage once that fight began. And very interesting to see just how much damage this Immortal has also been getting onto their keep during all this. Doesn't seem like they will be able to finish off the keep. No, last auto does not go through, but that is 61 HP away. And the hero minion gets it. So the keep does go down, along with the siege camp from the top side and the siege camp from the bot side. Will also get picked up by Shogun Misa, as this lead continues to grow for Sexy Mofos. B-Man, a little bit overextended. The team is pretty far behind. Rogue is trying to get as much damage as possible as the Dwarf Toss used to go through the portals, and we'll be okay. And that's the strength of Medivh and why Medivh is so highly contested as we get into the higher ranks of the scene. Now, we do have the Concussive Mine thrown onto the Bruiser camp, and it does seem like they intend to contest this. However, 13 talents now coming out from Rolling Thunder as the leap goes on, but protected onto J-Mac. Leyline Seal lands onto 3. They are able to take that Bruiser camp for themselves. However, they do have to trade their offlaner's life for it. One for, really, they traded Thrall for Bruiser camp, but you kind of would prefer to have the hero, because now they're going to continue to utilize the siege camps that they got earlier on to keep shoving out this bot lane. They get the wall almost immediately, and Johnny B trying to get as much damage as possible through onto B-Man, just kind of pressuring them out. Grizzly throwing him with the Arcane Rift, as we do see Johnny B use the Jet Propulsion defensively to get away. Still no talent advantage for Sexy Mofos. All 5 members are now up. So Rolling Thunder will be able to clear it out a little bit. A little bit of core damage done, but nothing lasting. Only one shot onto the siege. Enough for the announcer to have a little bit of a panic, but they'll be okay. As we do see the Immortals are now spawning. Bruiser camp taken over by the side of Sexy Mofos, and they're going to be able to have so much lane pressure just coming naturally from their minions, from their Bruiser camp, and still from their siege camp that has a little bit of life remaining. As they do get towards halftime. A Jet Propulsion does land on 2 and leap all the way on to 3. That's a huge amount of damage going on through them. But B-Man able to keep them onto the backline. But J-Mag takes a lot of damage. Tries to run away. Not able to get away in time. The Robin Hood gets jumped on by B-Man. But B-Man not enough DPS to follow. So that's 2 dead. Rogue still chasing B-Man. Trying to run after it. But B-Man seems to be okay for now. But Vom is not. Vom gets taken out. Trash Mouse. Not a lot of health. But there is no portal. And B-Man's on the wrong side of the map. I don't think they should be trying to chase B-Man right now. They are able to get a free push, but it seems like they trust Shogun Misa to be able to do it. As the Jet Propulsion does land, the Avatar used Dwarf Toss to get away, but the Robin Hood is able to get so much speed as the Concussive Mine absolutely tosses Trash Mouse all the way onto the other side, and the Jet Propulsion to get the last hit as the Immortal also goes down. And Shogun Misa is taking down this bottom keep. Still a little bit of health left on it. About 1/3 HP, maybe a little bit lower. But they don't care about the bottom keep. Sexy Mofos are looking to end. They know they have a lead. They are 1 talent up. And the Immortal will be spawning over to the bot side. So they're just going to group as 4 to the top side and try to get as much damage as possible onto the core and kind of force Rolling Thunder to deal with them instead of the Immortal. And if the Immortal is going to be ignored, if Shogun Misa is also going to be getting ignored, their core will go down anyway. So it's a little bit of a damned if you do, damned if you don't moment for Rolling Thunder. What they have to do is get a kill. And they are aiming to get that onto John here. As Vom does get knocked down. They do hit the Jet Propulsion. Vom going to take a lot of damage, but will be able to survive thanks to the healing from J-Mac. A lot of damage going on back and forth. The Immortal is now on the core. Still in ranged form. The core is now taking lasting damage. And Rogue trying to jump in and help as well. Lots of damage. Jet Propulsion onto 4. That's an insane amount of stun. And they're just trying to finish off this core, and they will do it. Game number 1 goes to Sexy Mofos. So that's game number 1. Sexy Mofos able to bring it home for them. They played a really good game. They managed to get a big lead, and I'll be very, very surprised if Trash Mouse is able to play Junkrat again. Those Concussive Mines were insane to get them that early game lead. Those first 2 kills came off of the play started by Trash Mouse. Now, to give credit where it's due, Johnny B and Rogue were able to follow up extremely well. But if you remove the playmaker, even if the rest of the team is able to play clean, there might be something left in it for Rolling Thunder. Now, Rolling Thunder, I think they still managed to play well. They still managed to fight them off on a couple of team fights. And to be completely honest, when a deficit is that big, it is hard to look good. but they were able to still show a lot of signs of life. They were able to show a lot of heart. So I definitely will not count them out. As we come back soon for game number 2, just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere. And we are on to game number 2 between Rolling Thunder and Sexy Mofos. Map number 2 will be going on to Infernal Shrines. And like I said at the end of last game, what I want to see right now is Rolling Thunder to ban that Junkrat. I don't think you should give it to Trash Mouse. I think that Junkrat's going to do So much trouble for you. So just get rid of it. Don't try to touch it. Don't try to beat it. Not yet anyway. I think right now, out of all things, that Junkrat was able to put out so much pressure. Trash Mouse just didn't let them ever really group up the way they wanted to. As we do see instead the Mephisto ban. Very interesting ban, especially onto Infernal Shrines. As the Gaul is banned this time, they banned Cho game 1, Gaul game 2. I'm wondering if there was a little bit of a history there. I did notice these two teams love bantering. In the pregame lobby, both teams were just going at it. Nothing insane, nothing terrible said, but very funny to watch. As we do see Lucio banned as the second ban for Rolling Thunder, and Blaze is picked up now for Johnny B. So I am curious whether Shogun Misa plays that in the offlane. So maybe a potential swap later on. I'll be honest, I don't know too much about these two teams. But Johnny B had plenty of very good jet propulsion stuns onto the enemy. At one point, even being able to get a 4-person jet propulsion. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them play it again in the main tank. As the Junkrat once again picked up by Trash Mouse. And I think Trash Mouse is going to be able to do a lot. Trash Mouse absolutely will trash them in game number 1. I think a big part of the win was due to this Junkrat and the way he was piloted. We see Samuro picked up by Shogun Misa, so there definitely will be a main tank Blaze. And Samuro will have a lot of wave clear. Samuro just in general is able to push out waves really fast, able to move around the map really fast, very mobile carry. Just by being able to use the clones to kind of teleport around the map a little bit. And once the ultimate comes out, being able to kill the skeletons as the count to get the shrine. Also a very good character for that. Now to talk more about the picks coming out from Rolling Thunder, we do see Mei and Leoric picked. So right away we know it's going to be two pretty tanky members. The Leoric is one of the highest HP offlaners in the game, and Mei just naturally very strong main tank. So they haven't really revealed too much about what they're doing, minus the fact that now that they picked their Uther, that's 3 really strong frontline characters. And I'm wondering how they're going to build around this. Are they going to go double healer and just try and never to die? Tassadar, very good poke mage, picked up as their 4th pick. We did see during the ban phase, Stukov and Sylvanas both banned out. So, pretty standard bans there. Not too much to say. Black arrows are OP. The AoE silence from Stukov is OP. So, let's just get rid of him. Let's have a nice, clean game. Now, the final 2 picks are going to be coming out here. I expect to see a healer, maybe something like Rhaegar. And, no, they do go with the Anduin and the Hanzo. So, I'm wondering if the Anduin was picked to try and counter the Leoric Entomb, but Kerrigan, very, very interesting pick. And normally we don't see anything like this. I'm wondering how they're going to play out this map state. Because typically you do see Leoric in the offlane, but Kerrigan versus Samuro could be a very good matchup for Kerrigan. However, at the same time, we could see Grizzly grouping up with the team. But anyway, that is it for me talking about the draft. Next thing you know, we're going to be in game number 2. We are now live in game number 2. And I really want to see how they play this. I really want to see what they do with this Kerrigan. Now, we do have an interesting pick with a Samuro, but everything is still kind of standard here. We know that these 4 over here are going to be the main group, and we know that Shogun Misa will be the offlaner, kind of running around soaking, because, well, that's kind of what you do on Samuro. That's the objective of that character. But I really want to see how they end up playing out this lane state. Who goes out into the offlane? Are they going to do a 1-3-1? I think a 1-3-1 could be very good. Or will Grizzly just stay grouped with the team? We do see the concussion mine coming out right away. A lot of poke already coming out from the Hanzo Junkrat combo. And that is something I missed, but very much, or there is a lot of poke coming out from the side of Sexy Mofos. As all those grenades do come in. And Shogun Misa is starting to get low. That is the real Shogun Misa, not a clone. J-Mac will come try and group up, but I'm wondering, will they be able to take him? And Shogun Misa actually kind of low, forced to run back towards J-Mac. There is a little bit of fighting going on mid, but I think this may end up being first blood. J-Mac's trying to get on top of Shogun Misa. Shogun Misa trying to use the bush, but first blood will go over to J-Mac. Slow but steady chase to be able to get that first kill for a Rolling Thunder. And just like that, they have a slight lead for themselves. We are seeing that they are splitting up their team as J-Mac does get jumped on the top here. We'll be able to just walk away and tap up for safety. But Vom was the one to pick up the mid wave, and Grizzly is just kind of roaming around the map, trying to group up with J-Mac towards the top side, or potentially just looking to catch someone in rotation. Neither of these things do end up happening. We do see that both siege camps are starting to be taken by the side of Rolling Thunder. Whereas Sexy Mofos isn't trying to contest the bot side siege camp, they are just taking the one on their own side. And just Garbage should be able to take it relatively quickly. Rogue did use the Sonic Arrow, so they do know that siege camp is being taken. But no contest will be coming out quite yet. Jet Propulsion does land on a 1. But B-Man able to kind of zone everyone away. Make sure that the fight does not continue on. As I do need to check these ability names. Icing, Blizzard, Snowblind. Okay, perfect. Still trying to figure out how the names of all these characters. That B-Man does get rooted up. Doesn't matter too much. The siege camp is going in. Jet Propulsion onto the tank. Not a big deal. As Shogun Misa and J-Mac once again fighting it out. Shogun Misa will take both of those healing orbs, but J-Mac is the one on the back foot here. Low HP, but J-Mac able to heal very quickly. Lots of fighting going on back and forth. And whenever you have a Samuro in the offlane stops becoming that big noodle fest where you only really look there when someone's at like 1/5 HP or less. But now it is a lane where fighting could happen as Johnny B's the one to get jumped up. The Blizzard gets pulled into that, but the Robin Hood will be able to save Johnny B using the leap of faith. The XP lead is slowly starting to grow for Rolling Thunder. They have been soaking their waves a little bit better. Their map states have been better overall. And that's kind of one of the strengths of having Tassadar and the Kerrigan. They're able to kind of like spread out a lot of the damage. They're able to have the Tassadar kind of focus on shoving the waves while Grizzly helps along in other ways. As we do see the Jet Propulsion landed and B-Man also going to get rooted. Stun will not come through. But the Tassadar is going to get blown up in the middle of all that by Trash Mouse. Lots of DPS going on over through there. As J-Mac, also very low HP, will be able to heal a little bit just by virtue of being Leoric. Just Garbage is there. Jet Propulsion lands on it too. No huge follow, but Big Man will also get taken down to half HP. As the race is continuing on, 28-11 now in favor of Rolling Thunder. They're killing these skeletons as fast as possible, and I don't really see any answer coming out right now. They still have time to group up, wait for their teammates to arrive, and now they're moving in as 5. Jet Propulsion lands on it too. And they are starting to wail onto Johnny B. Johnny B taking a lot of damage. J-Mac also on top of Johnny B. And Johnny B will go down. Shogun Visa is on top of Vom, dealing a lot of damage. But Shogun Visa also taking a lot of damage in the meanwhile. Both will be able to just get away. And the Frozen Punisher does go over to the side of Rolling Thunder. And now the Punisher, as per usual, is going to focus more on the enemy heroes. But they don't really have a tank to be able to take the leap. So it lands on it too, and that's worst case scenario. Trash Mouse and Rogue both take a lot of damage. As we do see Shogun Misa getting killed by J-Mac over in the mid lane. Now the wall is going to get slowly pushed down. The Frozen Punisher is going to go down very soon. Gets the stun. And they won't be able to finish this last cannon tower. But still, the wall is mostly dead. A lot of pressure coming out for them. And most importantly, they weren't the ones on the receiving end of the Punisher. Even if you're not able to get too much from it, just by virtue of you not taking any damage on the reversal of it, it means it's always worth taking. Now, still 1 level lead right now for Rolling Thunder. No talent lead, as it is 8-7. as we see the Bruiser camp getting taken down by Sexy Mofos, and the Siege camp will get started by Rolling Thunder. B-Man is going to be the one catching the wave top, which is a little bit interesting. And we do notice that J-Mac in this bot lane took a lot of damage off of this wall. Pretty much in the same state as it was in the top side. So Gamisa will be running away. I thought for a second the real one was caught, but the Siege camp is going to get started by Sexy Mofos. And just a little bit of map rotations able to get them, as they do in fact catch the real Samuro over in the mid lane. Oh, sorry for missing that. Gotta be a little bit hard for me. I'm not used to casting a Samuro, so I do need to watch out. The Sonic Arrow does miss. They do get the blind, and the Jet Propulsion will land. But no follow-up able to come out from that. Neither side able to get enough of an advantage positionally to commit on to that fight. And Johnny B is taking a lot of poke, forced to use the Jet Propulsion to get away. And now it does look like the side of Rolling Thunder, now with their heroic talents, they did hit that level 10, are going to utilize that timer to kind of force themselves onto the Siege camp. They're going to try and take as much of this camp as possible. They're going to hard DPS it. And no contest coming out from Sexy Mofos, as Trash Mouse is going to be hitting onto J-Mac. Jet Propulsion does land. Concussive Mind will throw him back, and J-Mac going to get taken down here. Ice Wall on it too, but do they have a huge follow-up? They do have the Blizzard, and the Blizzard is going to stun onto both, and right now Leap of Faith going to pull Rogue out of it, but they are still able to get a lot of damage onto Johnny B. Johnny B gets stunned by the Hammer of Justice, and Shogun Misa throwing out the ultimate in the middle of everyone. Invulnerable coming out for just garbage. And we do see Junkrat will have enough damage with that rocket ride. So overall 1 for 0 going for the side of Sexy Mofos. And so many low health bars on the side of Sexy Mofos, but Rolling Thunder not able to finish anyone off in the end. And just like that, the lead has shrunk a little bit. Still have half a level, but nothing to really write home about, especially right now, where neither side has the talent advantage over the other. They are uneven talents. And the Shrine is starting up in the mid lane. Still 10 seconds until they're able to spawn the skeletons, but I do expect to see that coming out soon. Trash Mouse throwing down the Concussive Mine. I'm kind of just trying to be as annoying as possible. Johnny Beef gets the oil slick down onto the enemy, and lots of poke damage. Once again, Vom already taking down the quarter HP. Does have to get healed up. And Rogue throws out the Dragon Arrow, as we do have a Jet Propulsion on it too. Johnny B trying to DPS hard on J-Mac. Bunker does come out. B-Man throws down onto Shogun Misa. Shogun Misa does go invisible, as we do have the ultimate coming out from Vom. And Vom gets Concussive Mind right back into the team. And 1 kill going over their side. And now they're just going to try and push it as hard as possible. But the Entomb onto 2. And that's evens it out to a 2 for 2 trade. Rogue still a little bit low mana. And Shogun Misa does take a decent chunk of damage there too. Throbbing Hood trying to clear out as fast as possible. It's very close for the race as well. Rogue trying to snipe as many of these skeletons as possible over the wall. And now they're just going to be able to clear it out. It doesn't seem like Sexy Mofos is going to be able to contest. So while, again, the fight ends up going more or less even, they are able to have that HP advantage. They're able to have that positioning advantage. And they will secure the Mortar Punisher. Now let's see how much value they're able to get off of this. The wall does not have a lot of HP, and in fact the wall is already gone. So the Mortar Punisher will be able to get onto this fort very quickly. And Johnny B trying to walk forward to take the lead, but it's hard to walk up because Johnny knows if he walks up, he's going to get absolutely blown up. So they're just going to have to give away this fort, and the Punisher has half HP. Johnny B catches the leaf now, but gets walled backwards, and Ice Wall gonna completely stop them from going anywhere. Trash Mouth does get saved over by the Rogue's Arrow, and the Bunker is still there trying to throw as much of those little flame spits over on the Punisher as they do clear it out. Dragon Strike is the name of that ability. Sorry, Dragon Arrow is the other ultimate. I knew that. But anyway, moving on, they were able to get that mid fort, so that is a big advantage going over to Rolling Thunder. They're now going to have that passive pressure. And J-Mac is also here on the top side. Just going to finish off this wall. Not going to commit to the fort yet. And the Siege Camp does go over to the side of Rolling Thunder. Now, still no talent advantage for teens now on the side of Rolling Thunder. But the 13 talent here also there for Sexy Mofos. A little bit of stat advantage, but nothing important. What is important, however, is this side lane pressure that J-Mac is bringing out right now. No one is matching him. He's getting free soak for the team, and he's also able to get the top lane forged, so that's going to be 2 lanes now passively pushing for Rolling Thunder. Shogun Misa does group together now and able to get a lot of damage over on a JMac, but we'll be able to just Wraith Walk away to safety. Now they're going to start working on clearing all of these minions. The Bruiser camp is up for the side of Sexy Mofos. Doesn't seem like either side is really moving to play towards it yet. And as I say that, the side of Rolling Thunder is now crashing hard onto this Bruiser camp. But Sexy Mofos seem to be okay giving it away. Because right now they know they have full control of the bot lane. They have a huge push. They have a wave already there at the fort. And this probably is worth it for Sexy Mofos, as long as they're able to clear it out and not lose too much in the meanwhile, because Rolling Thunder isn't just going to let them do this for free. They're going to trade something back in the top side, and they're able to clear this wall very quickly. Trash Mouse and Shogun Misa already back now for the defense. We do see the Blaze on Johnny Beast, a little bit behind, but still able to be there. And we do see the Rocket Ride coming out just for poke, and wow, that is a lot of damage on a Grizzly. We'll get healed up, so no harm in the end. But overall, I would say that is still worth it for the side of Sexy Mofos, because not only were they able to get a fort, it is also a fort where their fort still stands. Their bot side fort is still up. They are not going to be at a... they're going to have their own push advantage in this bot side. And that kind of opens up the macro for them, as we do see the Bruiser camp now getting taken down by Rolling Thunder. That's going to be where the next Punisher comes out as well. So typically you do want more pressure on the weak side of the map. You kind of want it on the side that you're not playing. So that way you can just ignore it, leave it. And unfortunately they're not going to be able to do that. Because their wave is going to be naturally pushed in top. If the fight ends up taking a very long time, if there is no decisive fight right away, they will lose a lot of pressure top, and their keep could even start getting threatened. But the Shrine is now active and will get started over by the side of Sexy Mofos, as Rogue able to clear out a lot of skeletons. They're starting to trash him out. Look at all that damage going over onto JMac and just garbage. And just like that, they're going to try and force a fight. Trash Mouth immediately uses the Rocket Ride, as well as the Dragon Strike coming over from Rogue. And taking out the healer, that's definitely one way to guarantee yourself the objective. They're only 1 kill, and they're able to come back, and Trash Mouse will clear the top side. They know they have nothing to fear now. And this will be the first Punisher going over for the side of Sexy Mofos, but also somewhat unfortunate for them, as I say that, but the fight does come out. We do have the ultimate coming out from Shogun Misa. A lot of damage onto Johnny B. Johnny B forced to use the bunker, but should still be okay. Rogue trying to poke in the back line, as there is the light bomb, but the light bomb does go on JMac, who was in the Wraith Walk. They do get the Punisher, but the Punisher is not quite enough. JMac is taking a lot of damage from Shogun Misa, is going to get slowed by the oil slick as well, but Shogun Misa is trying to dive a little bit. There is no healer on their side of the map, but Grizzly and Vom kind of able to pressure that out, but Shogun Misa almost able to get pulled back, but used the wall in a very good way, as the Arcane Punisher just jump onto B-Mad. And they do have the push already going. They're going to be able to get this wall. I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to get this wall anyway. The Arcane Punisher is still applying a lot of pressure, but the damage for them is very slow right now. They're not able to really just hard DPS down this wall and blow it up. As the Ice Wall comes out, Robin Hood just barely able to dodge it. Now Shogun Misa has the push now. The Junkrat did group with the team, as we do see the concussive mine, blowing Trash Mouse back to safety. And they're now going to probably try to group towards the middle after they take the siege camp here. They just finished off this bot side siege camp, which we now see also going to help with this bot lane push. But I would like to see them kind of to start opening up the map. The next shrine will be over here in the mid lane. So being able to have wave pressure, not having that little bit of safety coming out from the fort, would be really big. We do see they are trying to start a fight, but B-Man able to block it away. Dragon Strike does go onto that, but not timed perfectly, but just garbage. Is going to be taking a lot of damage by Johnny B. Now Grizzly does throw onto the back line. They're able to get a lot of damage over onto this fort, but Vom taking so much DPS. Ice Wall comes out, lands onto no one. Johnny B still throwing as much DPS as possible, and we do have the Rocket Ride, and That will not be able to get the kill, but it will let Rogue pick it up. So 1-0 once again for Sexy Mofos. Now, what are they going to do with this lead? Right now, they already do have a natural push coming. Shogun Bisa still splitting over in that top side. Going to be able to finish off the last remaining cannon turret. J-Mac and Grizzly will be there to defend it. But you send 2 up there, and they will be able to push just a little bit through the mid lane. They did get the wall, but the fort still stands pretty strong. And they hit level 20. Sexy Mofo is now on a very big power spike. The last talent lead that we will see in this game. They are just poking it down from range, not dealing a ton of damage quite yet, but just enough to be able to slowly but surely finish off this tower. I would see J-Mac and Shogun Misa fighting over in this top side. The Blade Storm is used. Trash Mofos does run in, trying to get as much DPS as possible. And in fact, the DPS is good enough, and J-Mac goes down. Another kill going over to the side of Sexy Mofos. And B-Man kind of caught in a really bad spot, but will be able to just ice slide away. Or was that the ability name? Icing away. Strange name for an ability. But anyway, the Bruiser Camp will get taken down by the side of Sexy Mofos as the level 20 does come out for the side of Rolling Thunder. It is still a 4v5 for a short little bit of time. J-Mac 20 seconds away, maybe a little bit less depending on how the abilities land. And J-Mac will be able to join into the fight right away. And with that level 20, I assumed that was the Silent Entomb picked up. And it was. And that's a really, really strong teamfight ultimate. If you're able to land it, as a lot of damage is thrown down. Ice Wall going to prevent the Leap of Faith, and we see the Entomb, but the Leap of Faith will still be able to be cast, and Vaughn takes a lot of damage from the Dragon Strike. And Jet Propulsion lands on a J-Mac, and now there's going to be the Light Bomb on it too. Trash Mouse takes a lot of damage, has to use a Concussive Mine defensively, and now is going to use the Rocket Ride. Takes Vaughn down pretty low, but still has the healer. The Uther, it will be there to keep them alive. Grizzly now getting jumped down. Will have its own defensive ability as well. And now Johnny B kind of stuck on his own. Trash Mouse just does come into the rest of the enemy team. And another Dragon Strike coming through. Hits on a B-Man. A lot of DPS going. As we do see Grizzly going down. And J-Mag just respawned, but also no Wraithwalk caught on the wrong side of the map. And Vom is dying on this other side of the map. And just fighting going on all fronts. J-Mag still trying to get away. Shogun Misa is still trying to throw onto that. But at the same time, we have fighting going over onto the mid lane. Now B-Man is going to be trying to push, but realizes there's not going to be any kind of pressure here. And just like that, it seems like the Punisher will go over towards the side of Sexy Mofos. Rolling Thunder is going to try and shove this out. But thankfully, because it is the Punisher, it takes a lot of time just being able to get those 40 kills in order to spawn it. And because of that, their team will be back up in time. They are still going to have a little bit of pressure just coming through with the Punisher naturally. And then there will still be 12 seconds where they do have a lead without that Tassadar. And that Tassadar is a very, very big part of their DPS. The only ranged DPS on their team. So being able to clear away that Punisher is very important. But still, we see Trash Mouse starting to push onto this wall. And it doesn't really seem like they want to pressure this too much. They do have Shogun Misa taking the siege camp. Rogue just comes back as well. And in fact, they're going to start grouping over on this bot side. It seems to be just to get the waves shoved in. And they will be satisfied with just that. We do see the sneaky, sneaky bush play starting to come out. Shogun Misa, the bait has been set. And how good is Shogun Misa at baiting? Nothing seen quite yet, but they are trying. They don't know where they are. We do see the ultimate coming out, but unfortunately the bait might have been a little bit too hard as they do go in and get the free kill on a Shogun Misa. Ice Wall is starting to come out. Dragon Strike kind of divides the fight into two, and because of that, J-Mac and B-Man going to be a rooter right now, taking a lot of damage, but Grizzly able to come in right away. They do get the stun onto Rogue. They get the bunker coming out, and Johnny B completely stuck. Jet Propulsion as the Leap of Faith will keep him alive. And with the root and the concussive mine, they're not able to really follow. But J-Mac still trying. They do get the slow. Oil Slick trying to keep him away. And B-Man icing going to prevent them. And another Leap of Faith, because why not? And another dash got away from Johnny B, because it doesn't matter how many times you catch them, if you don't have the DPS, you will not be able to get the kill. And we're kind of seeing the weakness of the composition from Rolling Thunder, where it's really hard for them to get on top of the enemy, and they're not able to deal as much damage as needed, as Bomb's taking a lot of DPS, gonna be finished off by the Rocket Ride. Johnny B very low, healing inside of that Flame Spitter. And so overall, at the end of the day, it is a 1-for-1, but Sexy Mofos is going to have the advantage in this current moment. Being able to get that kill 4v5 does give them 45 seconds where they have the numbers on the map. They're able to dictate the pace. But like I said, there's no talent advantage. If they were able to get the 45 on the side of Sexy Mofos, there's no reason Rolling Thunder won't be able to do it as well. Now Grizzly and Just Garbage starting to group up here for the defense on the bot side. Johnny B trying to get something started as the Jet Propulsion does move away. Going to get the Hammer of Justice, but no further stun coming out for them. Bruiser Camp has been taken over on this top side, and the push is coming out through the mid lane as well. And no hard committal towards any one of these pushes from the side of Sexy Mofos, but they are slowly but surely bleeding away this game, as they are trying to just slowly but surely take down all of these keeps. They don't want to take any risk. They know they have a very safe composition to play this game. They can wait for the Punisher and just kind of utilize that advantage for themselves as well. As B-Man takes a lot of damage. Rocket Ride, as B-Man does tap, and that tap saved B-Man's life. Needed that little bit of extra HP to be able to survive. Just Garbage will heal back up to full, as Rocket Ride is going to be down for the next minute, and the Shrine is going to be spawning. Now, every wave is currently in favor of Sexy Mofos. They're not going to really have any natural push except for the bot side. The bot side will be easier to kind of claim as they are here together. And Throbbing Hood kind of on their own, but in 2 misses away. So does the Ice Wall. But now Johnny B a little bit on their own. Doesn't land the Jet Propulsion, but everyone else is starting to fight on the beam. And Shogun Beast is getting a lot of damage as a Dragon Strike comes out. Only really going to land a little bit on Just Garbage, but they're okay with that. The positioning is still really good for them. The bunker does come out, and Grizzly takes a ton of damage on the backside by Rogue. Now Vom trying to fight as hard as possible, and they do get the 2-man Jet Propulsion into the Light Bomb that gets onto 3. J-Mac very low. The invulnerability does come out, but Grizzly able to jump up onto Johnny. I will not commit onto that. Shogun Misa does clear it, and the concussion mine does throw him back, and Grizzly will be the first one to go down. And I wonder if that will be the last, because Just Garbage is still going to get chased down, and Just Garbage goes down as well. B-Man also now going to be getting chased down here. No real stuns available quite yet. The Blizzard will miss, but B-Man on the wrong side of the map. Going to go into the Ice Block to try and delay for some time, but it's still 4-on-1 with a lot of damage going through, as the Ice Wall will be able to keep 2 of them away. But Trash Mouse will be able to use just right around on that rocket, dealing a ton of damage on the B-Man. B-Man very low, and the Entomb does come out, but unfortunately a little bit too late. And J-Mac does use the Wraith Block to be able to get away. That's still yet another kill with the Mortar Punisher. And this could be the game-winning play. This could be the push they need to be able to close out this game. They're now getting onto the keep. Trash Mouse is starting to group up with them. Was shoving out the mid lane, but actually seems to be starting on the siege camp. And I think this may be a little bit of a mistake, because right now they're on the core. They could push to win here. They have the Punisher. They have a lot of people already on the core. As Trash Mouse does end up grouping up. They use the Concussive Mine, not able to get anyone. J-Mac already getting low. The Punisher dealing so much damage. The bunker does come out. And in the meanwhile, Rogue almost goes down to Grizzly. And Grizzly is still trying to push down as the Light Bomb onto Robin Hood. Not enough DPS quite yet. Shogun Misa still trying to hit over on the backside. I do want to see how this play goes down. Grizzly trying to hit onto the Rogue, but in the meanwhile, Leoric does get killed. The Punisher is still dealing a ton of damage, and the last hit will come through. And just like that, we have a 2-0 victory. A domination from Sexy Mofos. And that'll be the series today. Sexy Mofos able to play super well. And once again, I'm kind of surprised that they let Trash Mouse have Junkrat twice. 107,000 player damage. If we sort just by DPS, the next closest is the Hanzo, but still 30,000 damage away. I didn't really see too much value coming out of the Kerrigan. I think it was an interesting pick, but I kind of wanted to see the Kerrigan be the one to match into the Samuro. I think being able to match Shogun Misa, that's where Kerrigan would have been able to deal a little bit more damage. But I digress. The game is over. Sexy Mofos 2-0. Before I end off this stream, I do want to throw out a couple messages. I will be live again tomorrow. Most likely, I will do a replay cast and then a live cast over at 7 p.m. So look forward to that. And finally, I also want to say thank you to AFK Journey for sponsoring this stream. Download for free now. Link was just posted in the chat. You saw it 30 seconds ago. Delay is cool. And thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. And I hope everyone is able to have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow.